Hi, everybody. How's it going? We are Chris and Terra Ulriksen. We are international workers with the Alliance in Mexico City, and we're presently at home on home assignment. We've had the opportunity to visit many of you in your churches, and so some of you might recognize us from that. But we just want to take a moment today to sort of share a little bit of what is going on in Mexico City and how that affects our life and our continuing journey as we serve God overseas.
So our team is doing well, even though they're getting a little stir crazy as most of us are sheltering in place. Um, Mexico City is, of course, on the rise with COVID, and most hospitals are full and turning patients away. So things are still on the rise there.
They're anticipating over the next few weeks this could be the roughest stretch, but it's hard to get really clear information, so it's hard to know for sure. So we appreciate your prayers for Mexico City during this time. This has a bit of an impact on us. For any of you who have been following our journey over the past few years, of course, we went from planning to go to Venezuela to suddenly going to Mexico and then taking an extra year in Mexico. And so this becomes one more speed bump in that ongoing journey. We are anticipating being in Canada for a few extra months while at least the first wave of this pandemic passes by. And so we will likely be here until the end of August, but we're still just sort of monitoring the situation as it goes, and we'll update you as we know more. But right now we're expecting to be here till the end of August. So that's life. We're doing well as a family, and we continue to be in contact with friends and different people in Mexico. We continue anticipating returning to Mexico. When we go back, the expectation is that we will be focusing on student ministry, especially myself, and also focusing on theological education for the pastors and holistic education for the pastors within Mexico City and the greater Mexico area. So we are looking forward to that.
And general leadership development.
Yeah. So that's sort of our plans for when we return, whatever date that happens to be. And so we just appreciate your continued prayers for us and for our family, same as every other family, as we adjust to life and kids at home and everything else. And continued prayer for our team in Mexico and for the process to be made clear for us to be able to return to Mexico eventually. As far as other factors, the biggest one, of course, is the Global Advance Fund. Like everybody else, finances is a challenge, and the Global Advance Fund, which sort of pays our monthly allowance and pays for our travel to and from Mexico and everything else, has taken a bit of a hit. We don't know exactly what degree or what percentage, but we do know that it has been affected. And so if you do find yourselves in a stable situation with a stable income and you could continue to support the Global Advance Fund, we would really appreciate that. We know in a number of different countries around the world, missionaries are having a great opportunity to share the gospel and great opportunities to meet practical needs and bless the people where they're at. And that becomes much more difficult as funds dry up and as we begin to be uncertain of how they or eventually we can continue that work. So that would be a big help for us personally and also for the entire international worker community as we try to serve Christ overseas. So that would be one very practical way that you could help out. At the same time, we thank you for all who have supported, and we understand that this is a tough financial time for everybody, so we understand those realities, but please keep that in mind, and at the very least, please keep us in your prayers. Thank you so much. We continue to pray for all of you and for our churches, and we trust that God will continue working in your midst the same as he's working in and through us. God bless.
Take care.